Toralf, I gave you a budget of 50 euros to build a deck.
Yes, you told me I should build a deck for 50 euros that survives 5 turns against your deck, and I win a prize.
So Toralf, I am so confident that you will not survive until turn 5 that you get to go first.
Keeps getting better. Okay, I will start with a forest, tap it for green, and cast an Arboreal Grazer. All channels favorite.
Is that how you're gonna win? By getting to my heart first?
Yeah.
And then I'll just forget to attack.
If you want to attack, it's like, look, it would have to block and die. 03 Reach. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you may put a land card from your hand on the battlefield tap. I will show you a green, blue dual land.
Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, this is the end of my turn.
Nice turn, you pleb.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, you just took that. I'm gonna start by playing an Urza Sag. It enters the battlefield with a counter on it, and it will go to chapter 2 next turn and chapter 3 the turn after, but for now it just taps for 1 mana. Now I'll show you where the big bucks are. Toralf, have you heard of the Black Lotus?
Once or twice.
It's the second most famous card in Magic the Gathering after Post Malone's One Ring. It just sacrifices itself to pay 3 mana, but it costs 0.
Yeah.
And for that price, greatness at any cost, you have to pay thousands and thousands. I'm gonna sacrifice it immediately.
Okay.
No, Toralf, I sacrificed the Black Lotus. Some pump, please. Thank you. That was appropriate. Now that I have 3 green floating mana, I'm going to play a creature called Patchwork Automaton. It's only a 1/1, but it has Ward 2, so to target it, you have to pay 2 extra mana. And whenever I cast an artifact spell, I put a +1/+1 counter on Patchwork Automaton. So it's innocuous and tiny now, but you'll see it will be very large in the future.
Yeah, but is it a cute beast, you know? A sloth? Look at it. Oh no, he's actually look at it. Carl,
I would say no.
on behalf of all the community posts, you're nuts.
Why would I need to see with 2 eyes when I could afford to see with just 1? Now, I have played a land, I have a mana floating, so I'll play a very famous card, third most famous card, Soul Ring. Should I read it to you?
No, I know that one. Oh, but you can read it to the world. It can't harm.
It's a 1 mana artifact, and if I tap it, I get 2 mana.
Yes.
And it also says Toralf loves these.
I do.
Because I cast it, I will put a +1/+1 counter on my Patchwork Automaton, making it marginally larger. Now,
Double the power.
yes. Do you want to see a...
A cool magic trick.
Yes, do you want to see a cool magic? Everything I do here is a cool magic trick because we're playing cool magic cards.
Yes.
I'm going to pay 2 to play a Sphere of Resistance. All spells, all of them, cost an additional 1 to play. This will make my Patchwork Automaton bigger.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You know how to count very well.
Yes, that's good, because I need it. I will cast Mindbreak Trap. It costs 4, but because basic math tells me you've cast at least 3 spells this turn, it's free. And it exiles any number of spells. Unfortunately, only this one is targetable. But I really do not want to pay more mana for my spells.
Because Toralf knows my game plan, which is to put a Patchwork Automaton on the board, prevent you from playing any spells by making all of them more expensive, and then beating you down with the automaton.
Yes.
Well, now that you've countered my spell, I get to do other stuff. I'm gonna play another expensive card because I have a top hat. It's a Mox Emerald. It's extremely expensive, just for basically a forest. It taps to add 1 green mana.
You want it to
But
trade?
I do not. And then I'll pay 2 for an innocuous card that will not be relevant later. Time Vault. It gives a counter to my Patchwork Automaton. It enters tapped and does not untap, but if I tap it, I take an extra turn. But to untap it, I need to lose a turn. So, you know, you give a
Zero-sum
take.
game, yes.
I think that is a pretty good turn 1 for my fancy vintage deck.
I agree. Not bad, not bad. I mean, could be better, but could have an 03 beast that looks like a sloth and is very cute, but you
I
did.
agree, I am kind of jealous.
You did well. Adding to my cuteness factor, I'm playing a card that you might have seen before. It is a Spore Frog.
Oh, that is very cute.
Look at it.
Beautiful.
1/1 frog, and I can sacrifice it to...
Prevent all combat damage until end of turn. It's a fog frog.
Yes, frog on a frog. Frog on a frog?
Fog on a frog.
Frog on a frog. Island,
They do
and
that
then
sometimes.
the re-hero of my deck. I will cast an energy field. For 2 mana, it says prevent all damage dealt to you from sources you don't control.
I've never heard of this card.
So that means your creatures, your emblems, your spells, anything that you control.
For just 2 mana?
Yes, it does have a slight downside.
It must.
When a card is put into my graveyard, I have to sacrifice it. Now, I don't have planned to put cards in my graveyard, especially not before turn 5.
That's genius, Toralf.
Yes, thank you.
Because all you need to do is survive any damage, so even direct damage, burn spells, prevent all damage.
Nothing that comes from you can harm me. Normally, I would say, show me the money, but I actually see the
It's
money.
here. Yeah,
so
it's right here.
just take your turn.
Okay, I will not untap Time Vault. I'll draw a card, and this goes up to 2. So now, my Urza Saga, I may pay 2 and tap it to make an XX artifact creature with power X, with the amount of artifacts in play, which is usually huge. But I can't deal you damage, and that is a problem. I'm going to play a Graph Digger's Cage in case it's relevant. It'll give a counter to my Patchwork Automaton, and creature cards can't enter the battlefield from graveyards or libraries, and players can't cast cards in graveyards or libraries. And I can attack you, but it does nothing, look.
Yeah. Oh, it got prevented. It did do nothing.
So now you're going to go to your turn 3?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a plan.
I'm casting Savor the Moment. Take an extra turn after this one. 3 mana.
Oh, wow, you really cooked.
Unfortunately, can't untap for this turn, but...
You don't need to.
It needs untaps.
Wait, is a card about to go in your graveyard?
My energy shield goes away, but I think I have...
It did its job.
I have 20 life. I have a Spore Frog, so I don't think I need to prevent all damage. And I mean, there are other decks where I need to prevent more damage, but you just play Artifact, so what you gonna do? Deal me 20 damage?
So I have 1 turn to beat you.
You do have 1 turn to beat me. I will play an island for turn.
And you're out of cards.
Out of cards. Now it's my turn.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But you can't untap.
The Doomsday counter goes to 4. I'll draw a card.
And you have a Fogged Out Frogs.
And you know what? I'm gonna attack you for 1.
I'll take it.
Go.
On the chin. Okay, so I have this only 1 turn. I will draw a card for this turn. My Urza Saga will go to 3, and I will need to sacrifice it. But I get to search my library for an artifact that costs 1 or less. I will float 1 mana with it as it leaves.
Sure.
And put a Manifold Key into play. It just pay 1, untap target artifact. Pretty good. And I will use the 1 floating mana I have and the 2 here from the Soul Ring to play a Tezzeret Cruel Captain. It's a legendary planeswalker and it's awesome. Whenever an artifact I control enters, I put a loyalty counter on Tezzeret. It starts with 4, it'll get much bigger. For 0, I can untap target artifact or creature. If it's an artifact creature, put a +1/+1 counter on it. For -3, I can search my library for an artifact card with mana value 1 or less, kind of like I did with the Urza Saga. For -7, I just win the game. So this would mean that I would untap the Time Vault, take an extra turn, untap the Time Vault, take an extra turn. We can't get to your turn 5.
Yes.
But if I take infinite turns before your turn 5, voila.
I see your plan. But also,
It's a good one.
now you probably see that I can't let you have that. I will show you the last card.
Did you draw a counter spell?
For only 0 blue mana, I will cast a Thwart. It costs 4, but
What?
again, a Thwart, not a ward.
Gesundheit.
Instead of casting it, I can return 3 islands to my hand.
Yeah, because you don't need to win.
I just need to stall.
Stop shooting yourself in the foot. Yeah, you just need to...
Counter-tile spell?
Yeah, my Tezzeret is countered.
Yeah, it's thwarted.
That's okay. As you might have noticed, you are a smart man.
I noticed.
I also casually just put a Manifold Key onto the table. I will begin by attacking you for 6.
I will prevent it.
Well done. Spore Frog did its job.
No damage!
I will pay 1 and untap my Time Vault. Usually that takes me an entire turn, but now I have friends.
Okay.
I will tap it to take an extra turn.
You found the line.
Can I go into my turn?
I have 3 islands in my hand.
I will untap, but not the Time Vault. I will draw a card for turn, and it doesn't really matter here, so let's just kind of go through the motions. Untap Time Vault, take an extra turn, attack you for 6.
I do not have a Spore Frog, I take 6.
Okay, I will go into my next turn. Draw a card. I will attack you for 6.
I see the problem.
I will take an extra turn,
Hit
draw.
me. 6.
Attack for 6.
6, going to 2.
I'll do it again in like 2 turns.
Yes. Sad.
Okay, can we still high five?
Yeah. So close.
Yaman, I made you build a €50 budget deck.
And I'm playing against a mystery 10,000 euro deck?
Yes, unfortunately for you, I've run the numbers, and you have a 0% chance of winning.
I'm gonna open up by playing a swamp and then casting Duress to see what's going on over there. Duress says, target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from it. That player discards that card. I hope you don't only play creatures.
You weren't kidding, that is a very powerful strategy. Unfortunately, and this is gonna be a little bit embarrassing, I can't let you do this, but this is gonna come at a cost. I'm gonna play Force of Negation. If it's not my turn, I can play it for free by exiling another blue spell, but it counters target non-creature spell. If that spell is countered this way, I exile it. So I will counter this, and to show you how much I did not want this to resolve and how much I need the cards in my hand, the card I'm pitching with Force of Negation is gonna be Ancestral freaking Recall.
What?
Yes. A very expensive magic card.
You could have just let that resolve. I probably would have taken the Ancestral Recall.
You don't know what else is in my hand.
Okay, so this one is exiled.
Yes, it's gone. So is my Ancestral Recall.
I only have a 50 euro budget, so I couldn't buy the expensive version of this.
No Moxes?
There's no Moxes, there's also no Grief. Grief is a very powerful modern card, but I did have my money for an Unmask. Unmask is very similar to the Force of Negation because it costs 4 mana, but I may remove a black card in my hand from the game instead of paying its mana cost. And it says, look at target player's hand and choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card. I will exile this Praetor's Grasp.
That is unfortunate. I will put the card you probably want to get rid of at the front. This is a Oath of Druids deck. I put Oath of Druids onto the battlefield. I'll give it a quick read so people understand what I'm up to. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player chooses target player who controls more creatures than they do. And if that player has more creatures, they reveal cards from the top of their library until they put a creature into play. It's to be even, right? Except the only creature I can put into play is Emrakul's the Eon's Torn, a 15/15 that wins the game.
I don't play any creatures, but I already see you have ways to put creatures onto my side of the battlefield.
When you're playing against a deck called Oath of Druids,
yeah,
it's probably good to take the Oath of Druids.
You discard the Oath of Druids.
Well pointed.
Oh my, okay. Yeah, for now, I pass the turn with 3 cards in my hand.
You seem to have come with a really mean strategy. I'm going to play an Underground Sea, which we don't need to read it. It's a land that taps for blue and black, but I just wanted to show the price to the viewers.
The price tag on the overlay is impressive.
And then I'll play this Mana Crypt. Speaking of impressive price tags, it's a 0 mana spell that can tap for 2 colorless mana like a Soul Ring. But on my upkeep, I flip a coin, and I could potentially lose 3 damage. Now I lost some of my cards, because you seem to want to get rid of some of them. So I need to stock up, which is a card that just allows me to look at the top 5 cards in my library and put 2 of them into my hand. Very powerful.
Significantly less powerful than Ancestral Recall.
Yes. Unfortunately, I had to pitch that to protect my spell that you got rid of anyways. I'm going to put these 2 cards into my hand. The rest go at the bottom of my library. And unfortunately, I had a turn 1 that could have put a potential Emrakul onto the battlefield, but I no longer do because you got rid of all my cards. So I'll pass the turn to you.
All right, I will untap and I will draw. Nice. Getting rid of your cards is kind of the name of the game. And the name of your game is Oath of Druids, so I'm going to cast an Extirpate.
You're playing Extirpate in that deck?
It's just a good card, you know. Extirpate exiles a card from a graveyard that's not a basic land, and then I get to search through your library for all copies of that card and exile them all.
So stock up, right?
It's not stock up. It's also not Force of Negation. And the best part of this is, you can't even counter this because this spell has split second, so you can't respond to it. So show me your hand, show me your deck.
No Oath of Druids, but my deck won't have that anymore either.
Okay. So these, my friend, are all exiled. I'm getting close. I need to untap on turn 5, right?
Yes, and then you would win, if you survive till then.
Okay, I don't know. Let's see. I will play a second Swamp and cast Dark Ritual, which adds 3 black mana, just no questions asked.
What are you going to do with them?
I'm gonna cast Bog Down. Now, it's not a good card, but I think in this situation, it's actually excellent, because Bog Down is a 3 mana sorcery that makes target player discard 2 cards from their hand, but it has a kicker cost, an additional cost I can pay, sacrificing 2 lands, which I will do. Target player instead discards 3 cards from their hand.
3 cards?
I'm on empty. I have nothing on the battlefield, no important card in the graveyard.
Do I choose which ones?
You choose which ones.
Well, Oko's gone. And I think the only thing I can do is keep this stock up in my hand. Now, Emrakul will hit the graveyard, and because she does, I shuffle the entire graveyard back into the library. You have 3 more turns, 2 more, and then on your 3rd turn, you just win.
Yeah, I do.
I will untap. And on a 4/5/6, I will take 3 damage. It will be completely irrelevant, but I will take 3 damage.
You take 3 damage.
Now that I took 3 damage, I can draw a card. It's an okay one. I will play the stock up that survived in my hand. I need to stock up again. I was stocking up back up to 5 cards, and you just got rid of everything. I will look at the top 5 cards in my library, and I will get to choose 2, and they better be good. They are.
No, that's the opposite of what I want to hear.
I will take these 2 cards to my hand, and these will go at the bottom of my library. And now, you have no lands.
I have nothing.
And no cards.
I don't think I'm winning the game overall, but I think I'm making it to turn 5.
I will give you a card. I'll play a Forbidden Orchard, and when I tap it, I can add 1 mana of any color, but whenever I tap it, I need to give a 1/1 color spirit creature token to my opponent. I know it's very hard to believe, but I'm a generous, rich person. You get a spirit. And I will play a Vampiric Tutor. I search my library for a card and then put that card on top of the library after shuffling, and I will lose 2 life. I will put this 1 card on top of my library. First I will shuffle. This card will win me the game.
I mean,
You and your spirit may take your turn.
all right. I will untap and draw. Okay. And attack you for 1.
I'll take 1 single point of
Yeah.
damage.
Down you go. And I didn't draw land, so go ahead.
I will untap. Can you flip the spirit? On spirit, I take 3 damage. I take 3 damage. It came up spirit. I will draw, and I will play the card I've Vampiric Tutored for. It's a show and tell. Yeah, man, I have things to show, and I have stories to tell. The first thing, do you have cards in hand?
I do.
This may be your opportunity to get a second permanent. We may each put a creature, artifact, or enchantment from our hand onto the battlefield. I got this one.
I don't have one.
You don't? Okay, you want to see mine? It's an Emrakul, the Eon's Torn. So the first 2 lines of text are irrelevant right now because we didn't cast it, but to say 15, 15, flying protection from colored spells, yes, yours are black, and Annihilator 6. And if you kill it, I shuffle it back into my deck.
All right.
Would you like to take a turn?
I would like to take my turn because it's my turn 4. And your deck has a bunch of ways to tutor and like do broken stuff, but I still like my odds, honestly.
Can you take 5 damage?
I would rather not. I don't have anything to play. I'll just pass the turn back.
There's one card specifically that I think of gets me out of here, but I have so many ways of fetching it. This is not it. But first, I will take this opportunity to make you lose your spirit.
I will sacrifice my spirit to Annihilator, and then I will
Yes.
take 15.
15
Any
damage.
combat tricks?
No. No, the giant growth twice. I will take 2 damage, going down to 8. You are beating me up. So look at your hand.
It's a Stupor and an Inquisition of Kozanek.
Oh, well, they're not very good right now. That's okay. You can pick them back up. I'm not thought-seizing you. I am not that mean. I will draw a card. Ooh, perfect. You're dead. Sorry, I don't mean to say it like that. I don't mean to say it like that. I will play a Demonic Tutor. Floating in black. It's okay. By the end of this turn, you will also have a spirit.
I love it.
Yes.
No.
I search my library for a card and I put it into my hand, then shuffle. And there is one specific card I was thinking of, and no, it is not Oko, Thief of Crowns. It's called Time Walk. But you came so close. I have 1 floating mana. Would you like a spirit, Yaman?
Yes, please. I'll grab myself the spirit.
I'll create a blue mana and I'll cast Time Walk, which is very simple. It says target player loses next turn. Target player takes an extra turn after this one. That will be me.
Yeah, alright.
I will take my turn. Do you want to play Flip the Spirit?
Yes.
You got in there for the last point of moral damage.
Nice.
I will attack you for 15.
Yeah, well done.
So, Carl, you asked me to build a deck for 50 euros, and the only goal is to make it to turn 5.
Yes, if you untap on turn 5, you win. But you have to beat the best vintage deck. That's why I'm wearing this fancy hat.
Okay, so before we start, even, I show you Chancellor of the Annex. So this is a 7 mana angel, 5/6, but I show this to you from my starting hand, and that means the first spell you cast is countered unless you pay 1 extra mana.
That's quite a road bump.
Yes. So this goes back into my hand. And then I will show you another card, Leyline of Sanctity. If this is in my starting hand, I can start the game with it on the battlefield, and it says I have hexproof.
Or do you have anything else?
Well, I go first, right? I go into my turn now?
Yes, now you get to play spells.
Well, I would like to cast, with this planes, a Deafening Silence. It's an enchantment that says each player can't cast more than 1 non-creature spell each turn.
So you came here with a plan that no one does anything, nothing.
Well, I just
I
have
can't
to
target
survive,
you.
right?
My spell gets countered. I can only play 1 spell per turn. Unfortunately, this is so frustrating because this is a big problem for me.
I hope so.
And I would love to counter it with this mental misstep, which for free, if I take 2 life, which I will, I counter a spell that costs exactly 1, which this does. But you have a Chancellor of the Annex that comes and counters this right back.
I am so happy.
Well, that's a pretty good
That's
turn.
your turn, Carl.
Okay, I didn't like it. Mine's gonna be a little bit slower now.
Yes.
I'm gonna play this Undercity Source, which will make me look at the top cards. Keep it on top.
Oddly underwhelming, actually.
It's
Sorry,
right.
I don't want to.
I just surveilled 1 filly.
No, you're
It's a wonderful mechanic.
You're doing fine.
Okay, Mox Jet. It's 0 mana for essentially a swamp. But
Yeah?
it's extremely expensive because you can play it on the same time you play the land. And now I would have had a turn 1, but I'm passing.
Okay, well, so far.
So far, I did not much.
I will play another Plains,
Okay.
and then I will play a Children of Corlys. It's a 1/1. I can sacrifice it to gain life equal to the life I've lost to stop. Just a 1/1. And that's my turn.
So if I try to deal you a lot of damage, you can gain back the life. I can't target you, and I can only play 1 spell per turn.
Or non-creature spell, yes.
Non-creature. Well, which is most of vintage.
I
decks.
guess, I assumed. as
So
much.
now, Finny, I will choose to play my non-creature spell. Because
Okay.
I couldn't last turn because
Cool.
I played a Mox. I'm gonna play.
That's not a non-creature spell, though.
It's not a creature.
Sorry.
I would play Doomsday, the 1-card combo.
Yeah.
Do you have a counter spell in what seems to be a mono white deck?
Well, I showed you the Chancellor.
Yes, that was a counter spell.
That was my counter spell.
Okay. I pay half my life, round it up. I put my graveyard on top of my library. What a weird thing to do. And then I remove all the 5 cards from my library from the game, put the rest on top of your library in any order.
That's a good card.
Yes. So, I pick 5 cards that I win the game with, and I have to choose them now. I don't know what else you have, but I have to find a way with these 5 cards to win. I want them in that order. And I had access to 60 vintage cards. These are exiled.
I have to admit, I'm not that cocky anymore, but...
Take your turn 3.
Okay. Draw an awesome card.
That was too much excitement.
Um,
Calm down, young man.
planes, go to combat?
You may. You don't win for killing me, but I go to 7.
I just want to send a message.
It's sent. Received. Loud and clear.
Go.
I will untap my 3 lands and draw the first of my 5 game-winning cards. I will take another 2 damage
Very good.
to cycle a Street Wraith,
Okay.
which will allow me to draw a card and discard it. I will take another 2 damage to cycle a Street Wraith. You would normally play a bunch of draw spells,
Yeah.
but I can't. But these are not spells. These are activated abilities.
Yes.
To draw a card, and I have 2 cards in my library. I will pay another 2 life, going down to 1
I have an idea where this might be going.
to draw a card.
Yes.
Now I have 1 card in my library.
Okay.
And this card is in my hand. I'll play an Underground Sea and play my 1 spell for the turn.
Yes.
It's a Thassa's Oracle. It's a Merfolk Wizard. It's a 1/3.
Yeah.
But that's not what matters. What matters is when it enters the battlefield, I look at the top X cards in my library, where X is my devotion to blue, which is currently 2. Look at the top 2 cards. And the important line of text here is if X is greater than or equal to the number of cards in your library, which it is, you win the game. I'm sorry, Fitty.
Well, there's nothing I can do about that.
No, there isn't.
Or is there?
You're playing mono white, my
Dun,
friend.
dun, dun. I have a card for 1 mana that says,
Mana Tithe?
no, it's Angel's Grace. It has split second. So that means as long as this spell is on the stack, players can't cast spells or activate abilities that aren't mana abilities. And it says, you can't lose the game this turn and your opponents can't win the game this turn.
So I can't even counter that.
So, no, I just counted you, basically.
Well done.
Now you don't seem as phased as I would want you to.
I still have 1 card in my library. I will pass
True.
the turn. I am at 1 life.
Okay, I will untap and draw a card. I would like to cast Gideon of the Trials. Now it's a...
Your deck is surprisingly clever and good against mine. I just want you to read the emblem, please.
Okay, so we go straight to the ultimate, which is also a 0 activation. It says, you get an emblem with, as long as you control a Gideon Planeswalker, you can't lose the game, and your opponent can win the game. We've heard this before. Is that right?
Yes, last turn it was very good. You're very prepared. Unfortunately,
You're saying it's not good this turn?
I cannot. You think you come against a deck? I have a 1 spell per turn limit, and I'm going to use it. I'll cash it in. You're playing against a blue deck. I'm going to counter it unless you pay 1 with days. It's gone for days. Counter spells for days.
I'm very dazed. I'm feeling dazed
Yours
and
is
confused.
better than mine. Can I take my turn?
Yes, please.
You can't even attack for 1. 'cause
Well, I
have a
can
fish.
attack if I want, but I'm not gonna.
I will untap.
Yes. Yes.
Unfortunately, my 5th card was another Thassa's Oracle, which reads, you win the game. Vintage is a pretty powerful format.
I was. Yeah.
Well
done.
played.
I even had the Swords to Plowshares in the hand, so I could have attacked you for 1 life, so you would again have been at 1.
It would have
so I
been
don't
down to 1. You would have just won by taking your own turn anyways. You needed to mill me. Why didn't you come with a mono white mill deck?
know. Next time.